Okay, this is episode 2 of Pronoun Case. If you haven't watched episode 1, you need to do that. So I'm going to go through this list of 20 questions and see if I can get these all right using my method of getting pronoun case questions correct. So 20 questions. To complete our Egyptian mummy costumes, Llewellyn and so this is one of those where there's the person here and a pronoun, and I'm going to drop the other person. I'm going to drop this and then read the sentence. So really, this stuff I don't need to read, but it's going to be like, I bought a 12 pack of toilet paper. I don't need to read the stuff before the comma. In these types of questions, that comma really separates stuff. In pronoun case, I don't have to look at anything else in the sentence. So I bought a 12 pack of toilet paper. Yep. It was, all right, this is one where in the previous video, what I did was I looked at the verb. I didn't have another person to get rid of, but I looked at the verb and saw that it was weak, that it wasn't an action verb that I could do anything with, and I just created a sentence out of um, by dropping some words in the area and sticking with the stuff that actually had some meaning to, like ate your leftover slices of pizza. I'm gonna go. I ate your leftover slices of pizza. Correct. So I saw that this was a weak verb, and it caused me to say, all right, I'm going to create a sentence out of the meaningful stuff in the area. Sounds ridiculous, but that's what I do, and I get it right. Grandma asked my brother and, oh, this is one where there's two. So brother and, so grandma asked me to buy cherry cough drops while we were at the drugstore. Quick and easy. That's not what happened. It was, I'm going to get rid of, or I'm going to create a sentence out of this, just like I did a couple questions ago. It was I who, but don't worry about the beginning. Just say, I ate your leftover slice of pizza. So I shoved straws up my nose. When I was a child, let's ignore it. Grandpa was unhappy with. All right, this is one that I hadn't done on the previous one. From having done these before, I know that Grandpa was unhappy with. I'm just going to replace. I view this as like such a weird type that I'm just so used to it. So Grandpa was unhappy with my excavating his rose garden. He was unhappy with my excavating his rose garden. So anytime you're get in a situation like this, and you'll get used to them, it's gonna end up being like my excavating, or my running down the street, or my loving everyone in sight. Oh, weak verb. I'm going to create a sentence. I can give you all the correct answers. Professor Cohen told Matthew, and there's two people, so Professor Cohen told, I'm dropping the Matthew and, so Professor Cohen told me that he wanted to see us after class. Ignore this. I pulled the plate closer and told him they were all, well, there's no such word as mines, so that one's easy. Our boss called both Shane and, I'll get rid of Shane and, so our boss called, let's get rid of both because there's not going to be two when we test it out. So our boss called me. I'm going to ignore the first sentence. Consider it payback for, this is like the one that I'm used to right here. Grandpa wasn't happy with my excavating. Consider it payback for my finding an empty cereal box. So my is the answer. 11, ignore this. Order your own pie. Ignore the entire first sentence, separate sentence. Loretta and, oh, it's one and then the pronoun, so I prefer plain cheese pizza. There it is. 12. It is important to, I'll keep this, I'm going to get rid of Julie and. It is important to me that Dad. Don't drag me into the argument. Ignore that sentence. This is like those two that I've done already. So my choosing one side or the other, it's going to be my. Although Dr. Grayson shot us several stern looks, Tawana and, I'm going to get rid of Tawana and, although Dr. Grayson shot me several stern looks, I continued knitting. Judy bought a tray of perfect cupcakes to the bake sale. Ignore that sentence. This phrase here between the commas, commas surrounding a phrase allow the phrase to be dropped from the sentence. So, I, oh, this is asking something different. I wasn't even looking at the answers. So, mine or mines? Well, there's no such word as mines in this situation. Just between you and, well, every parent or all these people would tell you always put yourself second. You always say I, but that's not what we're doing here. So you're getting rid of, that's not how you actually do this. So you get rid of the other person. And it's just between I or just between me. It's not going to be myself, but just between me or just between I. Just between I, Selena should dump Fred. That's silly. So just between me, Selena should, between is strange to use. With me, but it's just always it's going to be me in this situation. So just between me, and that's the answer. Woohoo! It says. If you don't like, this is like 3 of them that I've done so far. If you don't like my criticizing your sappy poetry, that's that. If you don't like my criticizing, on our afternoon walk at the lake. All right, now look, this has me and Oreo, Oreo and I, Oreo and myself. Let's just take me or I by itself. Let's not use and Oreo, because that you can't do anything with Oreo. You can't change it. So it's always going to be there. So we're going to take me, I, and myself. On our afternoon walk at the lake, or on my afternoon walk at the lake, me met Jake. If you're a caveman, yes. On our afternoon walk at the lake, myself met Jake. No. On my afternoon walk at the lake, I met Jake. Yeah, of course. 19. That's a sentence. Let's ignore it. Oh, this is one where it's got 2. So me and Waldo. Me. Now this is something that hasn't come up. This verb here, are, is formed because there's a subject that has 2 in it. Me and someone else. But if the subject was just 1, which our test here, where we're just testing out me or I, this verb would end up being am. So like, I am happier. Me am happier. Me are happier, I guess. I don't know. Me is wrong. Just I am happier. Now you could get into details and talk about the, well, anyway, I am happier. There you go. The crackle from the cellophane bag gave away. Now let's figure out Fred's position. Yeah, Fred's position is how you write it. Now you can't actually decide a different way of doing Fred's. You could decide between my, me, and myself. So get rid of Fred and Fred's and so the crackle from the cellophane bag gave away me position? No. Gave away myself position? No. Gave away my position. All by itself is the way to go. 20 out of 20.